Jai Hind, dear students. In the last class, we have learned what are the different concepts regarding directing, its principles, and its importance in the modern business world. Today, in this video lesson, you are going to learn about the four pillars of direction. The four important elements of directions are we are going to learn through this video lesson. So, be please patient. And one more thing I would like to remind you, it is one of the most weighted chapter. Most number of questions are asking in the board exam. So please patiently watch up to the end of this video. So elements of direction involves four important elements. First one is supervision, motivation, leadership, and communication. We are going to learn in detail what is supervision, what is motivation, what is leadership, and what is communication, and what is the importance of all these four elements in management and as a part of direction. So, supervision is overseeing the workers, motivation, inspiring the workers, leadership, influencing the behavior of workers, communication, passing important information to the workers. So, we are going to learn the first element of direction, that is supervision. So, as we said, supervision, it originated from two words, super and vision. So it shows overseeing whether the workers are doing the right job as per the plans of the top management. So you have to remember in mind, it is the process of guiding the efforts of employees and other resources to accomplish the desired objectives. So the organization have different objectives, guiding our employees in the right path to achieve the organizational goals and objectives is supervision. You have to remember the simple meaning for the term supervision. It is overseeing people at work. Supervisor and overseer are the two important officials at the lower level management. They are looking whether the workers are working as per the direction of the management, as per the planning of the management. So, overseeing people at work is supervision. Supervision involves instructing the employees, observing the performance of employees, monitoring the work of employees, and also guiding employees to bring better output for the organizational development and growth. So, supervision involves instructing, observing, monitoring, and guiding employees. And one more thing you have to remember, it is carried out at all levels. Supervision is carried out at all levels, but more important at the lower levels. Therefore, the term supervisor or overseer is used at the operative level of management because they are watching, observing, and monitoring, also guiding the workers coming under their supervision. So, this is the thing you have to learn about supervision. Please remember the value points regarding the concept supervision. So, it is the first element in directing. And second one we are going to learn, it's motivation. Without motivation, there will be no better performance from the part of the employees. So we have to inspire. As a manager, we have to inspire the workers. We have to give maximum motivation. We have to change their attitude, negative attitude into positive attitude through inspiration, through reinforcement, through giving proper guidance. So motivation is making the workers to think we can do. Not I can, but we can do through joint effort, through cooperative effort of employees, they can do maximum. That is motivation. So through motivation, we can bring maximum change in the behavior of employees. So change in behavior can be brought only through motivation. Maybe non-monetary and monetary motivation can be used. So here we are going to learn what is the meaning of the term motivation. Motivation, it's the word derived from the word motive. And the meaning of the term motive is needs, desires, wants, or drives within the individual. So every human being have different needs. Maybe from the lower to higher level, they have different needs. The word motivation is derived from such a word motive. When the needs of the employees, desires of the employees, wants or drives of the employees are satisfied, they will bring better performance in the organization. That is motivation. Motivation is the process of stimulating people to actions to accomplish the goals. Goals means organizational goals. So it helps for the better achievement of organizational goals. We are going to learn the more concepts regarding motivation. Dear students, now look at the different features of motivation. We have to know more about motivation. The first feature is it's a psychological phenomenon. You know very well, whenever we are motivated with our teachers or any elders, we will get a something different feeling that will increase, that will bring a small smile in our face, in our mind. So we can say motivation is always a psychological phenomenon that bring a positive, maximum positive change in the behavior of workers. And it's a goal directed behavior. Whenever we are giving some financial incentive to our workers, like bonus, increase in the salary, automatically they will give more concentration in the work. So every organization, the head is giving monetary and non-monetary benefits for the workers with some goal-directed behavior. Always it will bring the positive attitude towards the organization. Motivation can be either positive or negative. It's another feature. You know very well, every time positive motivates or motivating factors increases the performance. Negative motivation always curtails negative attitudes and indirectly it will change the behavior of person into positive. So motivation can be either positive or negative. Means positive, we can use positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement. And it is a complex and difficult process. We have to do more to motivate our workers. We have to think more. We have to conduct a case study about the employees, how to motivate them. After getting maximum details regarding the workers, we can fix which type of motivation is very influential for that particular employee. So it is a complex and difficult process, and not stopping on, it's continuous process in the organization. Every time, whenever the employees are motivated, the growth of the organization will be very high. So it is a continuous process. That all are the different features of motivation. So keep in your mind. Next, we have to just think to develop the explanation regarding the concept motivation. You have to develop a small idea regarding why motivation is much important in business. So it helps to improve the performance level of all employee as well as the organization. So every time motivation helps the employees, helps the organization also to improve the performance and for the growth of the organization. So please keep the point improve performance level of employees and the organization. Next one is it helps to change negative or indifferent attitude of employees to positive attitudes. So with the proper motivation, we can convert the negative attitudes of workers or members in an organization into positive attitudes. We are learning the positive incentives, means monetary and non-monetary incentives that can be used to improve the behavior, means bringing positive attitudes towards the organization. Motivation helps to reduce employee turnover. Whenever the employees are getting more salary, good appreciation, they will stick on that particular organization. If they are not motivated, they will go in search for another job. So it helps to reduce the employee turnover and also employee absenteeism. It helps to reduce the employee absenteeism. So some of the organizations are giving more leisure times for the workers, arranging recreation clubs, providing food at cheap cost, and also providing a lot of additional benefits for creating a good atmosphere in the organization. So every time that atmosphere will reduce absenteeism. Every day the workers will be present on right time to do their job. And motivation helps the managers to introduce innovations in the organization, new technologies in the organization. So with the support of employees only, the head can bring certain changes. So if they are motivated properly, they can bring it very smoothly. So please keep in your mind all these points that indicates the importance of motivation. Next, very important theory we have to learn as a part of motivation. It's Maslow's need hierarchy theory of motivation. So important theory put forward by Abraham Maslow. Abraham H. Maslow, and the theory's name is Maslow's need hierarchy theory. And Maslow is a psychologist. He put forward this theory and arranged the human needs in the form of a hierarchy. From the very base level, physiological needs, safety needs, love and belongingness needs, esteem needs, self-actualization needs. So according to him, human needs are of 5 categories. Let us look at the picture of Abraham H. Maslow and a small history regarding who is Abraham Maslow. He is a well-known psychologist in a classic paper published in 1943. In 1943, he published in a classic newspaper regarding this theory. And in that, he outlined the elements of overall theory of motivation. His theory is based on the different human needs. He felt that within every human being, there exists a hierarchy of 5 needs. Every human being have a hierarchy of 5 needs. So we are going to learn individually all the 5 needs with colorful examples. So please keep in your mind the small history regarding who is Abraham H. Maslow. You can write as an introduction for the question like short answer and essay. So the first need, it is related to the basic needs of human beings. If the human being have basic needs such as need for food, need for sufficient water and good shelter, need for sufficient number of clothes. If these needs are on people's mind, that type of needs we can say basic needs. If it is not satisfied, we can't have a good life. So everybody need good quality food, sufficient water for drinking, and also a good home, a shelter, and colorful dresses These type of needs are coming under basic or physiological needs. Basic physiological needs, or sometimes it is said that physiological needs. So these needs are most basic in the hierarchy, which comes under the bottom level. We can say these are the primary needs of human beings. The need for hunger, thirst, shelter, sleep, and sex are some examples for these needs. In the organizational context, basic salary helps to satisfy these needs. When we are thinking in the case of employee in an organization, an employee who wants sufficient amount of salary to meet his day-to-day expense or life. So that is the basic need. And for the common man, the basic or physiological needs are shelter, food, sleep, good health, etc. So please remember the first or basic need is, as per Maslow's need hierarchy, which comes under the bottom level, is basic or physiological needs. Then we have to think about the next need. Once the basic needs of human beings are satisfied, automatically they will move to the next need, to the top of the hierarchy. What is that? Then the human beings need safety, safety in the organization. So security and safety needs, that comes under the second in the need hierarchy as per Maslow. The human beings need personal security in the society, sufficient amount of financial security, and a good health and well-being. So these type of needs are coming under safety needs, safety or security needs. So please remember, safety or security needs provides a protection from physical and emotional harm. So in an organization, every employee's need, they want job security, continuity of job in the organization, stability of a good amount of income, and good pension plans, etc. comes under the safety or security needs in a business organization. So as per Maslow's need hierarchy, the second need is safety or security need. Then we have to think about the third need. After we are getting enough security, we will think about the acceptance by the society, the social needs, acceptance by other people in the community, in an organization, acceptance by other fellow workers, and friendship, getting good friends in the organization. So that is the third category, affiliation or belongingness needs. Affiliation or belongingness needs. These needs refers to affection, sense of belongingness, acceptance, and friendship. Every employee, once they are secured, they need good friends in the organization. They need good relationship in the organization. That need is affiliation or belonging needs. A sense of belongingness and acceptance by other workers in the organization. So that is the next category in the Maslow's need hierarchy theory. Then we have to think about the fourth. Here we can say, once our basic needs are satisfied, we will move to the security needs, safety and security need. Then if we feel we are secured, then we want acceptance. Once all other people in the community are accepted, then we will think about the esteem needs. That is a respect from others, self-esteem, good status in the organization, recognition by the higher authority in the organization, and freedom of operation, thinking, and everything. That is esteem needs. The fourth need in the needs hierarchy of Maslow. So esteem needs include factors such as self-respect, autonomy status, recognition by other employees of the organization or higher authorities, and also they need individual attention. They will become individual actors. They want individual freedom to do something in the organization. And also, you have to remember in your mind every time these people want and do something for getting recognition in the community where they are working. That is the esteem need. Self respect, self esteem, etc. are the features. So, remember in your mind, once these needs are satisfied, they will move to the topmost level in the need hierarchy. There they will feel no one else is there to defend them, defeat them. They are the supreme powers in the world in all aspects, maybe in financial matters or any other thing. That is the last thing, last need in the need hierarchy. It is self-actualization need. Self-actualization need. Highest level of need in the hierarchy of Maslow. And there the people will think they are the supreme. They are the only one having more knowledge or more money or powers like so. It refers to the drive to become what one is capable of becoming. These needs include growth, self-fulfillment, and achievement of goals. They are the supreme having all type of achievement. That is self-actualization needs. So as per Maslow's needs hierarchy theory, there exist 5 human needs. Moving from the bottom, basic or physiological needs, safety or security needs, affiliation or belongingness needs, esteem needs, and self-actualization needs. So my dear students, please remember all these concepts regarding this theory, very important theory. You can expect short answer question from this area. So please create and collect maximum examples regarding all these needs. You can take your own example and analyze, make a critical thinking about yourself, conduct a self-evaluation. Then you can learn more in direct. My dear students, we are moving to the next topic related to motivation, that is financial and non-financial incentives. So every time when the workers are getting more financial and non-financial incentives, they will bring maximum dedication and performance for the achievement of organizational goals. If they are not getting financial as well as non-financial incentives, their performance will be very poor. So we have to learn in detail what are the different type of financial and non-financial incentives used by the head of the organization to motivate our employees. First of all, we have to learn about there exist 2 categories of incentives. One is financial and another one is non-financial incentive. We have to learn first about financial incentives. Financial incentives are given in the form of monetary terms, which can be measured. So, suppose one example we can say, I am giving rupees 1000 as a bonus for my employee. That we can say financial incentive. During the Onam season or any other festival season, if I am giving some financial benefit like bonus or any other amount of money or increment in the salary, that is we can measure in terms of money. That all type of incentives are known as financial incentives. So financial incentives refers to incentives which are in direct monetary form or measurable in terms of money. and serve to motivate people for better performance. So remember in your mind, whatever it may be the amount spent for motivating the employees, that comes under financial incentive. So it can be measured in terms of money. We have to look at what are the different forms of financial incentives used by the workers, the top level officials used to motivate the workers. First one is pay and allowance, providing more salary, increasing the salary, and also providing traveling and lot of benefits in the form of allowance, additional benefit, financial benefit for the workers. Second one is productivity linked incentive schemes. Productivity linked incentive schemes. Here, the topmost authorities have to analyze the ability of the workers to do some jobs. Depending upon their productivity or performance, we can give additional benefits. That is productivity linked incentive schemes. So, third one is bonus. You know very well, in a very festival season, might be in South Indian side, Onam or Pongal, they are getting more amount as bonus, a part of the profit, which is distributed for the workers during the festival season. Additional amount of money they are getting along with the amount of salary. And profit sharing is yet another concept. Whenever the organization is getting amount of profit, they can give a part of the profit for the workers. It automatically increases the morale of workers towards the organization. Profit sharing. Then co-partnership or stock options. You know very well, when the company needs additional capitals, they will issue share. Normally, the share is issued for the public. The company, in order to motivate the workers, they can issue the same share for the workers also at lower price than the value which is issued for the public. So the company can give share for the workers in lower price than its market price. Then workers will come a part of the ownership of the organization, that is co-partnership. And next one is retirement benefits. You know very well, lot of retirement benefit plans are there. Organization can adapt a best plan which motivates the workers to continue their job with maximum positive attitude in the organization. So retirement benefits and perquisites. Perquisites means providing additional monetary benefits like providing loans without interest for purchasing car for the workers, for constructing building, etc. So these are all the financial incentives, money which can be measured in terms of money. What is the amount spent for paying and also for providing allowances, providing bonuses, providing a part of the profit, also for providing perquisites, retirement benefits, etc. So which can be measured in terms of money comes under financial incentives, or we can say monetary incentives. Let us look at the next category of incentive, that is non-financial incentive. You have to think it is entirely different from financial incentive. Non-financial incentive include lot of ways to motivate our employees. Giving good appreciation, shake hands, providing rewards, appreciations, promotion. Lot of ways are there to motivate our employees in non-monetary ways. So non-financial incentives focuses on the psychological aspect of human beings. The satisfaction of needs like psychological, social and emotional, which cannot be measured in monetary terms, is known as non-financial incentives. So, my dear students, non-financial incentives focuses on the satisfaction of the needs of human beings, mainly their psychological aspects, social needs, and emotional needs. Dear students, let us look at the different ways used by an organization for giving non-financial incentives. So, when the workers are getting a good status in the organization, they will be highly motivated and they will bring more performance, positive performance towards the organization. So, providing good status, and also they can provide good organizational climate in the organization. The top management can arrange good infrastructural facilities for the workers, providing water and everything at the near places of their working area. And also, the employees, if they are getting more career advancement opportunities, if the top management is providing good training programs for the development of skills of workers, they are also willing to do more in the organization, which comes under the non-financial incentive. Job enrichment programs can be adopted by the organization to improve the morale of the workers. They also can do a lot of recognition programs. If the employees are recognized in front of others, they will be more intrinsically motivated. The motivation will come within the mind. If the workers are getting job security up to the end of their life, they can do the job at the same organization. If such a guarantee is getting for the workers, they will do more. Job security is another non-financial incentive. And employee participation in important decision-making programs, meetings. If the employees are getting more opportunity to express their views regarding important decision, they will be highly motivated because they are around getting same level of position as an organizational owner. And employee empowerment programs, if the employees are getting more training programs out in outstation, maybe in longer areas, in other states or in other countries, they will be highly motivated. In advanced technologies, if the workers are getting more training programs, they will improve their performance. So, my dear students, these are the ways through which an organizational employee is motivated, maybe through financial or non-financial incentives. So we learned two important elements from this video. One is supervision and another one is motivation. And in the next video lesson, we will learn about leadership and communication, the other two elements of directing. So thank you for your patience and thank you for your continuous support. All the very best for your future. Thank you.